Hi, I'm Ben, and a while back, I think in my Skull Island review, or at least some review or something, I forget, but I mentioned a while back that I'm a big fan of anything the Simpsons do that is superhero themed related. Yeah, yeah, 'cause wait, hold on, sorry, this is just embarrassing. Oh. Um, yeah, because I own Simpsons Super Spectacular comics, which are like Simpsons episodes where he becomes a superhero. One is this one. My favorite one is this one, called issue number 2, where the Simpsons, where Bart meets himself, like in different parallel universes, which is Bartman, Stretch Dude, and Cupcake Kid. And I own a lot. Like some are Bartman, of course. And like for starters, this is like I have a lot, so I won't show them all. Like I have Simpsons, like issue number 4, 2, don't know issue number 3, 1, and Bartman meets Radioactive Man, Bartman issue number 6, yeah, 6, 6, 6. Sorry, that's my cat. 6, 7, 6. I mean 5, 4. 3, and back to this. I own a lot more than the, oh, set this right there. It's too much work to do that. Also, now I do own the 2, 3, and 1, but I actually own this, the Bartman, the Best of the Best, which has the first issue, the the second issue, and the third issue again. But yeah, my dad got me that, and he wasn't fully aware of the story. And I don't know, I own a lot of Simpsons comics. Like, these are my comic book collections from DC, Marvel, and Simpsons, and even Elf. Yeah, Elf. And there's a Super Mario one, and there's an Incredibles poster. Yeah, I own a lot of Simpsons comics and a lot of this. I But that's not why I'm here. The reason why I'm doing this video is if I do have a better whiskers. Anyways, the reason why I'm doing this video is because there's an episode that's one of my favorite Simpsons episodes because I love anything that the Simpsons do that is superhero related, which you can tell by my posters I have. And there's a little Bartman one. But my favorite one is when Homer becomes Pie Man. Now I am a big Bartman fan, and yes, I'm a big fan of the Bartman Begins where he where he's which is a parody of Batman Begins, where he tells 3 stories of revenge. Heck, every time when I find a link on Watch Cartoons Online, and I just skip the whole episode and just go to Batman Begins. Yeah, but anyways, same with the Stretch Dude and Clobber Girl episode. I don't even watch both 3 episodes. I just mostly watch Stretch Dude and Clobber Girl. But what I'm trying to say is, Pie Man, I've watched that episode so many times. Oh, so today I watched Everyman, because every time I wear these pajamas, I watched that Everyman episode. But yes, I'm doing this video because I watched the Pie Man episode so much for years now. I watched that episode so much from years and years that I literally memorized it. I memorized that episode from word. Don't believe me? I'll prove it to you. The episode begins with something where the Simpsons family is watching TV, calling Promiscuous Idiots Island. And the narrator's like, tonight, the home of tonight on tonight on Fox, the Promiscuous Idiots Island, the home of promiscu um tonight on Promiscuous Idiots Island on Fox, the home of promiscuous idiots. Last week on PAI, our billionaire bachelor gave a rose to all the beautiful women. And Third Rock, I'm showing character, ethnicity, and intelligence. Intelligence, character, and ethnicity. For Narakan is like, ugh, tonight we reveal our shocking secret. Ladies, you have been chosen to to be with a billionaire on his private island. Well, I'm afraid we misled you. And the women gasp like, and then Marge is like, get ready, skanks, here comes the truth train. And then they go to a map of the island, and the guy hosting the show was like, this isn't an island at all. He rips the sticker off. He was like, it's a peninsula. And then they played the music, do 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 do, and one of the two women was like, "This is supposed to be about trust." Woman walks away, and then one of the women is like, "I just want to go on that boat and go home." And then the host, I guess, is like you, well, you don't need a boat because you can walk. The woman cries, and then the dude's like, "Yeah." And and then Bart is like watching it is like, what do you think those women expect when you sign a contract with Fox? You know you're gonna be betrayed and hu- humiliated with. And then Homer's like, quiet, the commercial's on. And everyone looks at him awkwardly. It's like, and Homer's like, we don't watch this. It's like we're stealing TV. And then a commercial for Bacon. It's like, do you love that sweet smell of Farmer's Billy's bacon? And Homer's like, yes, or something. And then the farmer guy on the commercial is like, would you like to see a pig go from loving life to your former life? Would I? Homer says. And then and then the and then the pig guy was like, well, if you look up and hear these here packages, you find a golden ticket that'll take you to Farmer Billing's bacon factory. Caution, bacon factory may explode. You'll see the hook grinder, the marrow streak, and the 50-foot pig shredder. And if you love bacon, then you're gonna love it. And if you don't like bacon, well then the heck with you. I don't really want to swear on my network, on my videos, I mean. And then they're showing a cartoon pig biting a real pig, which is a little weird, but it's okay. And then Homer's like, I'm gonna find that golden ticket and win that tour. The only delicious part of bacon is seeing how it's made. And then he's at the Quickie Mart with a whole cartload of with a cart full of a load of Farmer Billy's bacon. It's like, and Apu walks in and it's like, okay, Farmer Billy's travel fit bacon, Farmer Billy's this bacon, slow pill bacon, Farmer Billy's travel bacon, and I didn't memorize that kind of part, but then Apu's like, Mr. Simpson, if you really want to kill yourself, I also sell handguns. Sorry if that was racist, but hey, sorry. But Homer, but then Homer's like, nope, just looking for that tour. Then he goes through them and he's like, nope, nope, nope. The golden ticket at long last. Then he grabs Apu. He's like, mwah, 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 mwah. And then Apu is like, Mr. Simpson, please. I feel your kisses are premature. This is in fact the silver ticket. And then Homer's like, huh? And then Apu's like, the silver ticket enters you to travel to judge the pig contest. Travels the pig contest at the Springfield County Fair. And then Homer's like, judge a pig competition, but I'm no super genius, or am I? Then he grabs the silver ticket and walks away, and then cuts at the county fair, which shows Ralph, well, as a little cameo. I mentioned that because he was on the pig shredder thing, and I was like, Ralph is right there, and now he's here. I wonder what the story is for that. And then they showed the giant vegetables competitions, like and Lisa's like, these giant vegetables are amazing, and it's showing like a stick of relish and one that's big as blue ribbon, and they give the blue ribbon a blue ribbon, and then Bart is like, and then Marge said to Bart, how about a bite of the world's biggest Brussels sprout? Then Bart is like, ugh. Then when no one was looking, he puts the the Brussels sprout under the world's biggest mashed potatoes thing, and then we cut to the singer, and then the singer's like, this is a song about a country I love. You may have heard of it. It's called America. And then Homer is like, hey, I know that country. And then the singer's like, I can please Miss Barbara Streisand on spitting on a flag. Egg or strangler laying a bald eagle on the cover of some egg. But I love this country, to me she has no says. If you don't buy my records, then I'll pay to win. Then Homer goes to the stand and it's like, USA, USA, giving all the money and buying all these records. And then it cuts to the pig competition where it cuts to the pig competition, and then the farmer's giving these gold things to make the teeth look more golden, and then he's coming to, and then one's using a curl net to curl the tail. Also, my sister used that. Isn't that like crazy hot? Won't that hurt the pig's tail? But hey, it's a cartoon. It's like that Simpsons episode, cartoons don't have to be 100% realistic. And then Cletus is there like, of all the days for you to get a zit. Then he's cleaned the zit, and then Homer comes in with glasses, with the jugs thing. Then the pig's coming, is like, and Homer's like, suddenly, clear as this thing. Clearly had a snout drop. And the guy's showing his teeth, and it's like, the pig's teeth. And then he goes to another pig with a piano tie and sunglasses, and Homer's like, ugh, 280s. And then Marge is there, is like, let's see how your sister's doing at the play setting competition. And then Bart is like, play setting? Ugh, how can someone so lame to be related to a hot tamale like me? And then the other guy, and then the Texan, the rich Texan comes in. He's like, and looks at Cletus's wife, place setting, and it's like a cracked plate here, and it's like, and then he's like, and then Krusty Krab shows. Is like, check it out, dribble glass, rubber knife, whoopee salad. And finally, the breakaway wine bottle. Good, did not arrive. Ugh. And then he goes to Lisa. It's like, my theme is, if music be the food of love. The setting features tooting forks, champagne flutes, and of course, chopsticks. And for dessert, uh, Ellie's just something jello. And then the rich sings like, Lordy, girl, your entry stinks like the south end of a northbound mule. And at least like, what's wrong with it? Whiskers. Sorry. And then the rich Texan's like, well, your place setting thinks it's better than it is. Like a yard dog that sneaks into the house. And then Cletus is like, Zane. Also, Cletus was out the pig competition. How did he got from there? Like, what happened there? Oh well. But yeah. And then Lisa's like, did I do anything right? And then the rich Texan, I mean, is like, well, you did put it on a table, and then the table about to wobbles, and then the rich Texan's like, hey, look at here, it wobbles, wobble, 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 wobble. Lisa gasps, and then Homer is measuring a pig, and then comes to the and then finds out what's going on, and then he sees Lisa and all her stuff falls down, and she's like, this tape, and then the rich tech's like, this table is solid as your underlying concept. And then Lisa starts to cry, and then the tech starts to laugh. Homer gets angry, he's like, no one does that to my daughter. And then Homer tries to stop what's going on, but then a thought bubble of Chief Wakem's like, one more felony assault, Simpson, and you're going down. And because he's in a thought bubble, and he's like, hey, I didn't know I could fit in a bubble. I must be losing weight. And then Homer's like, oh, but I gotta do something. I'll need a disguise. So he steals a quilt blanket, an apron, and a pie. And then the witch Texan puts his arm on Lisa's, like, oh, there, little darling, dry those tears, because she was crying. And then she gets the last plate ribbons, like, what's this? And then she keeps crying, like, oh. And then he grabs his guns, like, ha ha, he ha ha. And then, and then Homer, as the, I guess the Mark One Pie Man, is like, hold it right there. Do 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 do. And then everyone gasps. And then Homer's in his cheap looking outfit, and he pies the rich Texan, saying, you hurt your lost feelings. Hurrah! Throws the pie at the rich Texan. Lisa laughs, and then everyone laughs, and then rich Texan runs, I guess crying, and then Homer and then that boxing guy, that what's his name? Dredrick Tatum. Yeah, Dredrick Tatum's like, we all know pie are square, but today pie are justice, and I welcome it. And then Lisa's like, thank you, mysterious stranger. And then she's like, where'd she go? And then Homer comes in, and he's like, and Lisa and Marge is like, where were you, Homer? You missed all the excitement. Then Chomel is like, shall we ever see Springfield's costume protector again? And then Homer's like, oh, I have a funny feeling he will. What I have a funny feeling. And then Homer's like, oh, I have a funny feeling we will. Wherever people are mistreated, the Pie Man shall strike. He puts his hands above it, laughing, and he goes to his shadow with a more muscular, heroic cape wearing Homer, where he has a pie in his hands, and he's like, do do do. And then it cuts to the Simpsons kitchen, and Homer's like, what you doing, sweetie? And then Lisa draws Pie Man, but he's like, I'm drawing a picture of my newest hero, Pie Man. And then Homer thinks, gee, I thought I had a bigger package than that. And he goes, that's really sweet, honey. And then Bart comes in, and he's like, oh. And then he's like, and then Homer's like, oh, hey, let's turn that frown upside down. He grabs Bart by the leg, hold him upside down, and Bart is like, oh, Dad, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. And then he sets him down, and then he's like, no. And then Homer sets Bart down, and he's like, what's wrong, son? And then Bart grabs out these comics, and he shows Lisa, and Bart's like, comic book guy said, give me these comics he said I smudged, but I didn't even touch them. And then Lisa goes to looks through these comics, like Richie Rich Incorporates in Delaware, Easy to Believe Tales, Supergirl versus the Glass Ceiling, The Green Listener. And then Bart is like, but I didn't even. And Bart is like, wait, did I said comic book guy made me pay for these comics I said I smudged, but I didn't even touch them. Did I say that? I can't remember. Oh well. But then Bart is like, he just unload these karate comics for a helpless kid. And then Homer's like, someone should take him down a peg, or should I say down a pie? And then Lisa's like, no, I think the expression is pig. And then Homer's like, maybe you're right, Lisa. Maybe you're pie. Pie be your pie. And then the cartoon anime pie circles around his eyes and jumps out like it's the Adam West. And then they parody the scene from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Just ignore my cat. And then he draws all his drawings like of Pie Man, what should his costume be, and then he sews up a cape, and he kind of sews his fingers. In fact, in the episode where Burns opens a casino, he tries sewing, and he's like, ow, 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 in one episode. But anyways, after he saves the day, after he makes his costume, he pokes hole a tin from a pokes hole a pie tin for eyes, and then use it as a mask, looks in the mirror and looks at his big gut. Sorry, no one wants to see my gut anyways. And then Homer's like, and then Homer's like, and then Homer grabs one of those women things to make them thin, those old-timey things, and then makes them look muscular. It's like, haha, and then it jumps out as like, ooh. And then Homer goes and then at the comic book store, Milhouse is like, these magazines you sold me isn't Fantastic Four. It's Fantastic Floor. My family can't put in floors. They rent. We rent. Also, how do you rent floors? Like, isn't floors ground into your floor? Like, how is that possible? But anyways, comic book guy's like, sorry, no refunds. And then Homer comes in and as Pie Man, and then comic book guy's like, oh brother, why do we get all the weirdos here at the comic book store? Also, did you know in one episode it's revealed that his real name is Jeff Albertson or something? See, I just think that's funny. Also, this episode parodies both the Adam West Batman and Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. And then Homer runs up to Pie Man, comic book guy as Pie Man, and he's like, comic book guy, don't do the crime if you can't do the key line, and then throws a pie on his face, and then comic book's like, oh, how can this be even more humiliating? And then sh I'm Chanel Nichols from Star Trek comes in. It's like, hello, I'm Chanel Nichols from Star Trek. I may be pronouncing your name wrong, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all you Trekkie fans out there. But yeah, also I looked up, that's actually her. Yeah, they got her in this one episode for this scene. And then comic guy's like, ooh, you finally accepted my invitation for tea and chit chat. And then Michelle Nichols is like, ugh. Listen, I said it to Shatner and I'm saying it to you. There is no way I'm gonna be dating a man with pie on his face. And then she walks away. Comic book guy runs away crying, and then everyone starts laughing. Ha 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 ha. There's a note, Bart says, and it's on the pie tin. It's like, evildoers beware. Signed Sybil Simon, your friendly neighborhood pie man. And then Milhouse is like, finally, a superhero that kids can love. And then Nelson's like, what about Fist Face? Fist Face? Who's Fist Face? Milhouse says, and he's like, why don't you tell me who Fist Face is? I demand you reveal the identity of Fist Face. It's you. And then Nelson's like, it's you! Punch in the face. And then Marge is looking at a newspaper with comic book guy and Pie Man, and 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 then Marge is like, you can tell by the way the pie tin sits on his face that he's very good looking. And then Homer's like, oh, I have a feeling you find his likeness extremely hot. And then Marge is like, ooh, I bet he's Ned Flanders. And then Homer's like, Flanders? He's not man enough to trim my crust. And then everyone looks at him weird, like, I mean Pie Man's crust. I'm not Pie Man. He eats his fries, and then Kent Brockman on the news is like, Pie, popular pastry, tricky math train, and now sword of righteousness. A massive Avenger has been giving Springfield's scoundrels their just desserts, and it shows Krusty the Clown's like, this is for your show's decline in quality over the years. Was Krusty's pie in the face, and then a lineup for people giving away for pies, and Ken Brockman says, in a term to use copycat rhymes, the police have ordered a pies for guns exchange. The pies were immediately detonated by the bomb squad. Also, they're giving guns to these people who are just giving away puns. Isn't that a bit dangerous? And then they bomb the pies, and then Cleve Chancey William is like, oh, those poor innocent pies. Some days you just don't want to be a cop, you know. I'm gonna turn the siren on. That always cheers me up. He turns the siren on. He starts laughing. And Ken Brockman is like, that's good footage. Where would the pie man strike next to your house? Probably at the Springfield Children's Hospital, which is giving away all its 6 youngsters to make way for a new cosmetic surgery clinic. And this is my sister's favorite line in this episode. She's the one of those little two poor kids is like, "Who will treat my whooping cough?" And then Mayor Quimby's like, "Search me, come back when you want a giant rack." That's really inappropriate to say to a child, if I do mention. The gross man. And then security gets them away, and then he starts freeing. He starts he starts cutting the place with a ribbon. Is the mayor allowed to do that? And anyways, don't think. And then everyone starts applying. It's like, really? They're closing down a children's hospital for a cosmetic surgery clinic, and you're all applying this? This is like the poor children. But anyways, Chief Wakeham comes in. He's like, "All right, Lou. The minute Pie Man shows up, we strain our trap." And Pie Man is like, and then and then and then Lou the cop is like, "Hey, what do you got against this pie guy anyway? He's giving jerks their comeuppance," which is kind of a good sense, cause in a lot of superhero movies, the police is always against the hero, and I've always hated that cliche before people got started sick of that cliche, and then everyone's like, and because superheroes save the day and do a good service, and police are like, we must arrest him for being a superhero because that's the thing. Also, unlike in the Amazing Spider-Man movie, I doubt they point guns at people like that. That's just wrong in Amazing Spider-Man, and well, yeah. But anyways, Chief Clancy Wade was like, "Yeah, but he's skipping the hardest part about being a cop, bike safety lectures." And then the cop was like, "Oh, come on, Chief." And Chief Wiggum was like, "No, no one wants to hear about the trouble pants clips, do they?" And then Lou the cop was like, "Yeah, well." And then Chief Clancy Wiggum was like, "Nah, that's why Pie Man is going down." And then Chief Clancy Wiggum was like, "Thanks to this clinic, we won't be terrorized by the spectacle of women aging naturally." And then Homer comes in as Pie Man and he's like, "Ha ha ha ha, not so fast, old time liberal." And then Mayor Quimby's like, "Get him!" Opens his code with the microphone's like, "Get him!" And then the police come in and Lenny's like, "Pie Man, no, it's a trap." And then Pie Man's like, "No trap can hold Homer Simpson, but I'm not Homer Simpson. I'm the Pie Man. Homer Simpson away! I mean the Pie Man." Then he walks. Then he throws a pie tin at the thing that's holding the the water cleaner thing, and then jumps down and then shows the pie, and then swings on it and jumps to the the ladder thing on a building, those things, and Chief Clancy was like, "Shoot to kill," and then they shoot at Pie Man for throwing pies or whatever, and then they're like, "Pew, pew, pew," and then everyone runs away. He's like, "Ah!" And then they shot Pie Man in the arm, and it's like, "Ah! Oh, darn it!" And then Chief Wiggum's like, "Oh, way to go, Lou! You hit him!" And then Lou the cop's like, You sound like you're surprised." "I'm trying to give you reinforcement, jerk." "Well, that's positive. Call me a jerk." "You are a jerk." And then Marge runs down an alley, and then she trips, and then everyone else runs down the alley, and she almost gets trampled. And she's like, "Ugh." Then Homer Pie Man grabs her by the arm, lifts her up, and then she looks down at the people running out, and he's like, "I'm not being trampled. What?" And Marge is like, "I'm not being trampled. What gives?" And then Homer looks, and it's Pie Man. Then he looks down and he goes, "Mmm." And then Marge is like, Listen, I'm married." Then he grabs her and is like, "Mmm." And then Marge is like, kiss him back. And then she says, "I'm looking up your nose, but I feel like I'm staring into your soul." It starts to rain, and an homage to the Spider-Man movie, and then he goes up and then he's like, that was so exciting, yet familiar, like Coke was lemon. Marge says. And then it cuts at the Simpsons house, and then stops raining, I suppose, and then Homer's like, then he knocks down a lamp, he grabs the knife from the kitchen drawer, and this is the one time that's gruesome, and then he goes, let's see, cartilage, muscle, nerve, artery, bullet. And then Lisa comes in and is like, Dad? And he's like, Pie Man is not your and then Homer's like, Pie Man is not your father, little girl. I, murdered your father. And then Lisa's like, Dad, please, it's obvious why you're Pie Man. We've been getting his mail for weeks. And shows a mail letter that says Pie Man, and then he takes off his mask like, we shall continue this conversation in the lair or cave. Pie cave. Then he looks heroic. He goes down to the basement. It's like, watch your step. Welcome to my secret lair. And then Homer's like, Dad, this is the basement. Here's the iced tea I left here for you. And then she's like, and then she, and then Homer's like, this is. So it would seem. Anyway, I bet this is all a big surprise to you, huh? Mild-mannered Homer Simpson. And then Lisa's like, you're not mild-mannered. You're often liquored up and rude. And then Homer's like, honorable man can differ. Now, what brings you down here? I want you to stop this, Dad, before you get hurt. Yeah, if he gets killed by police or something, but yeah. And then Homer's like, okay, alright, I'll stop. But what should I do with all these pies? He looks in the fridge. And it's like, well, there's one thing you can do. He puts a fork with a piece in, and then Homer's like, I was in so deep I forgot pies were food. Then they both enjoy eating the pie, and then they were like, and then it cuts to Homer at work, and then Mr. Burns comes in and he's like, Simpson, you're late, bold, and stupid. I'm docking you a day's pay. And then Homer's like, also, the painting of Bart and Lisa moves slightly. What's up with that? And then he goes to his drawer to get a pie, and then Homer's like, I'll show him. Then he looks at Lisa's like, no, maybe I shouldn't. Or should I? I'll keep my promise to you, honey. He puts the pie down and looks at Bart and Lisa pictures, and then Homer comes in and is like, and for a TV thing, Mr. Burns comes in with a TV thing with saying, no looking at pictures of loved ones. And then Homer's like, Leslie Burns, you bullheaded little kid. And then Mr. Burns pops in, he's like, no angry grumbling under your breath. And then he goes to the cafeteria and getting his plate, and then he hears whipping, and it's Mr. Burns whipping Lenny. Carl's like, eat faster, swallow on your own time. And then Lenny's like, ow, won't someone help us? Then Carl's like, who will stand up for Carl and Lenny? And then Homer thinks and looks at pies and imagines them talking. It's like, hey, Homer, throw me at Mr. Burns. And then, oh, it's 2 a.m. Sorry. I have a Looney Tunes clock over there that makes sound. But anyways, the pie's like, hey, Homer, throw me at Mr. Burns. And then the other pie's like, no, throw me. I'm old and stale. I might just kill him. Ha 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 ha. And then Homer grabs that pie, and then a piece of cake starts talking. He's like, don't do it, Homer. You made a promise to Lisa. And then Homer's like, since when do I list to cake? When do you not list to cake, man? And then a pie with a cigar is like, tell you what, Homer, you make one last hit and you're out of the business forever. Lisa will understand. And then Homer's like, you're all so wise. I wish I could eat each and every one of you. And they're like, oh, I wish you could eat us too. He thinks. And then at the showers, they're like, the shower gets turned off. And then Mr. Burns is like, attention, while you were showering here, I sold all your clothes. And then And then everyone's like, what? And then Carl's like, huh, again? He does that before? Also, Mr. Burns being a real jerk lately. Like, what's up with that? But it's to, yeah, motivate, which is good. But anyways, Homer comes in and he's like, as Pie Man, he's like, I run out of pie-related puns. He throws the pie at Mr. Burns like, uh, ha 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 ha. Everyone laughs and he runs off and then he's at his camera place and he's like Homer. And he's like Homer. And William Smithers is like, he won't escape, sir. Do 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 do. He looks at Pie Man running around, eating, drinking coffee, scrunching his butt, then laying on his couch and sleeping on Miss Burns' couch. He walks up, he's like, behold, Smithers, your so-called Messiah. And then Homer's like, sir, and William Smithers is like, sir, I never, well, I'm Pie Man. And then Homer in his sleep is like, I'm Pie Man, I'm Pie Man. And then Miss Burns is like to the employee prison. And then do 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 do. And then he wakes up in chains like, what? And then Mr. Burns walks up to Homer's like, now let us see what we got here. He takes off his mask and he's like, and then Mr. Burns is like, Simpson, you ruined the day. You take this pie tin, cut holes for fries, and tension a rubber band around the back. It's not a rubber band, it's a scrunchie. Homer says, and then William Smithers is like, silence, or I'll chop you into sewage and to my murrs, gerbils, and hamsters. And then William is like, and the gerbils are like, ah. And then William Smithers is like, wait, I got a better idea. You'll work for me now. And then Homer's like, I'll already work for you. And then Mr. Burns is like, dude, as a normal capacity at the plant, you'll also serve as my personal hitman. And Homer's like, do I get 2 paychecks? Miss Burns is like, no. And then Homer's like, ah. And then William William unlocks his handcuffs and sits and lies him and gets him down and then gets him an envelope and he's like here is your assignment to prove your loyalty. And then Homer's like, but I promised my daughter that I. And then Miss Burns like, do as you say, or I'll tell the police. You'll do so much community service. No, and then Homer's like, no, not community service. I can't stand helping others. I just can't. And then Miss Burns like, now open the phone here door. It contains your next victim. Then he opens the folder. He's like, oh, no, not him. Anyone but him. I had my problems with him. Everyone has. But like every monster, he just wants to be loved. Do do do. And it shows a picture of Homer. And then William brings a pie. He's like, hmm. And then Homer's like, and then Mr. Burns is like, come on, it's clobbering time. Mm-hmm. It throws a pie in his face and it's like, oh. And then there's actually a deleted scene that parodies the narration from Pie Man, which I saw it on DVD, but I haven't really fully memorized it. So it's like, could it be our pie hero has turned to the bad side? Check out next time, same pie channel. And then it shows Mr. Burns like, Smithers, get him out of here. What's this? And it shows the narrator's like, what's this? Me leaving the scene, never to be seen again? And Homer's like, and then Mr. Burns is like, now! No. Yeah, because they parodied Adam West Batman and the Spider-Man with Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire. Wow, so then in Marge's bed, Homer's like, I can't sleep. I keep thinking about the Pie Man. And then Marge is like, oh, me too. And Homer's like, what if he started pieing good people? Not because he wanted to, but because he was being blackmailed by his boss. And then Marge is like, homie, are you the Pie Man? And then Homer's like, no, I'm not. And here's a picture of me to prove it. See? And it's Santa's little helper dressed as Pie Man with the dog. with Homer, and then Marge is like, well, whoever he is, the Pie Man will never cave in to blackmail. Now for this subject, kiss me hard. And then Homer's like, you know, I'm not Pie Man. I don't care. Then then at Mr. Burns's house, he's a mansion. There's a Girl Scout ringing the doorbell. It's like, Girl Scout cookies. And then Homer's like, oh, come on, she's a little girl. And then Miss Burns like, grow a spine on your own time, Blimpo. And then Miss Burns opens the door. It's like, just 1 second, sweetheart. No, pie that brownie, fruit cake. Then he walks up. He's like, sorry, Yuri, and then he pies the Girl Scout in the face, and then Homer's like, oh, sorry, and then at the place where they keep Jebediah Springfield's statue, Miss William Smithers walks up to Homer with a baby stroller dressed as a woman, and William's like, sir, my baby wants to play patty cake now. And then Homer's like, gaga, goo goo, your assignment. And then Mr. Bird's like, goo goo, your assignment. He gives the assignment and he opens the folder. It's like, oh, the Dalai Lama. And he's like, and then Mr. Bird's like, that's right. All his talk of peace and love is really hulking off my red Chinese masters. Now, Smithers, walk me down the park until I fall asleep. I'm feeling fussy, said Miss Burns. Then it cuts at the town hall where they're going up to the building where everyone's walking up, and then Homer's like, and Pie Man is like, grabs his cape. Scenes cuts at Lisa on stage, like, as Springfield youngest Buddhist, I'd like to welcome all of you, the Dalai Lama. And then Homer like, oh, I can't do this in front of Lisa. Why does she have to believe in things? It's like, and Mr. Burns is like, you have no choice. Pie him, or I'll reveal your secret to the world. Then Lisa's like, and now, please welcome the Elvis of Enlightenment, the lean, serene chanting machine, the Dalai Lama. He walks in, is like, and they're playing the horns like, do do do, do do do, do do do, do do do. And then Homer's like, greetings, travelers on the path to enlightenment. Anyway, it said the Dalai Lama. And then Homer comes in as Pie Man. He's like, and then they're like, doo 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 doo, and Homer holding the pie, and then Dalai Lama gasps, everyone else gasps, and then Homer's like, please forgive me, talking Lama. Then Lisa's like, no, Pie Man, don't do it. Come on, Pie Man, hit him, says Bart. And it's like, that's the only reason anyone came to this stupid thing. And then he's like, no, I won't. There's only one way to escape from this nightmare. He takes off his mask and he reveals to the whole town hall who he is. And then Dalai Lama's like, Homer Simpson? It was him all along. Now I know that's a funny joke, what they just did, because, but how does the Dalai Lama know who he is? And then, and then, and then Apu stands up and said, Homer Simpson is the Pie Man? Impossible. He has never thrown away a pastry in his life. Then Sideshow Mel comes in and he's like, his brain is enlarged to juggle two prostructing personas. It's like, and then William, and then Mo comes in and is like, yeah, Homer's a dumb butt. I don't want to swear on my channel. It's like, no offense, Homer, you dumb butt. And Homer's like, I'm telling you, I'm the Pie Man. And then Lenny and Carl like, no, you're not. The Pie Man could fly and spit acid, and animals did his bidding. And everyone's like, yeah, yeah. And then Chief Clancy Williams like, well, that closes the book on Pie Man. And then Lou the Cop is like, hey, wait a minute. If it wasn't Simpson, who was it? And then Chief Wiggum was like, it's gonna be you if you don't shut up. And then Lisa walks up and is like, well, Dad, I think you created a hero that even you can live up to. And Homer giggles. He's like, yeah, you're right. Let's go home, sweetie. And then Dalai Lama's like, on to my next engagement. puts his glass away. He's like, Buffalo, New York. And then he flies off, maybe to think that maybe everyone's gonna think he's the Pie Man. And then he flies off, and then and then Homer's in bed with Marge. Arsen's like, I know one person who believes you were the Pie Man, Homer. Me, I knew it all along. And Homer's like, was it the kiss? And then Marge is like, no, it was clearly you in that suit. You has to be an idiot not to see it from the start. So I guess that makes every Springfield in town an idiot for not thinking Homer was Pie Man if it was clearly him in that suit. But yeah, because that kind of makes sense. Because look at Superman for an example. Everyone's like, Superman over there. It, yeah, the light's too bright to see all of it, but there's Superman, and then Homer is like, and then yeah, cause Superman only wears glasses, and isn't that's kind of something that Lois Lane would say. Wouldn't you picture Lois Lane saying to Superman, "Yeah, Clark, I knew you were Superman. It was clearly you in that suit. You have to be an idiot not to see it from the start." But yeah, good parody. So Homer and Marge kiss. Marge says, "So, Pie Man, why don't you show me your superpowers?" Pie Man. And he's out the window, and then he stands up on the roof with an American flag saying, wherever injustice shows his ugly face, I will be there, for I am the Pie Man. And then and then Bart comes in and it's like, and wherever Pie Man is, the Cupcake Kid will not be far behind. And then Homer's like, well, you two are on the, and then Marge is like, well, you two are on the roof. Why don't you get the leaves out of the gutter? And then they're like, oh. Then they take the leaves out of the gutter, and the episode ends. Well, yep, I told you I memorized that episode from word. Well, kind of. There's little nitpicking things that you can point out, but basically word from word. Now, Pie Man, Homer as Pie Man never really appeared in any other episodes, but hold on. But he has made, but he, shoot, wait. Oh, right. Um, but he has made appearances in comic books, yeah, there's Cupcake Kid, so Homer makes a cameo, and right here, the one with Simpson Super Spectacular, with Bart, Radioactive Man, and then Homer getting a pie, probably to fight crime, but as you can see by that ton, he's like, I'm gonna eat that pie. But yeah, it's a good superhero parody. So he's mainly been appearing in Simpsons comic books like Simpsons Super Spectacular, and that's it. My favorite one has to be the one with all the Pie Men of the world, where where they dress up like Pie Men and face off the free the stone cutters, and then there's all these other Pie Men of all around the world, and there's all these different versions of Pie Man. I thought that's cool. Well, but yeah, it's in Simpsons Spectacular issue number 11, I think. Yeah, but there's some great comics you can read. That's my episode of me memorizing that whole thing. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Take take care, and you'll probably see some new videos.